My project is food consumption in the process of storage, and I do a search of food consumption and food waste, and find there are many process exist food waste, and I choose the process of storage to reduce the food waste, and through the brainstorm, I emphasize the reason why people have food waste when storage, and classified five field about this. And the first one is change the form of sensory. This is project I searched on the internet, and he changed when the food expired, you will feel bumpers about the tongue. So in this field, I think I also can do this about to change the form of the sensory. So many food have the plastic bag, and it also will told you that please quick finish or eating within 24 hours after opening. So I designed this with a color changing device, so it can monitor the time after you opening, and to remind you to finish your food. And the second one is not buy too much, buy properly every time. And there have some, for example, the app or the food reminder fridge or online farm market or the food share. So and my concept is to give consumers information about how many food you buy and how many food would expire soon. And the second one is to change the way of storage. For example, the different places, the different methods, or use the nature character of food. Just like this is he used rice to dry the spicy. And this one is root casserole, and this is pickling. This also can keep the food more time. So the concept 3 is a kind of rice container. Rice should storage and sealed and dry environment. But most of rice containers always have extra space for air, so it's not good for rice storage. So I inspired from needle, and I want to every time you use rice, and you can push the front you can push this up and to push the air out. And the third one is culture. The first one is culture, and in China we have the Clear Your Plant campaign, and I do a research about how to use culture to reduce food waste. And in UK they have the food share freezer, but it doesn't work in China because China is a food safety scare country. So no people would like to choose the share food. So my idea is to design a mobile phone game to monitor your leftover food and to share your pictures whether you are in Clear Your Plant campaign today, and the charity would donate food under your name. And the last one is education. Education is that toys can teach children more knowledge. Yeah.
You can take a wrap up the end of this thought.
Yeah.
So we know what you're saying.
And children can get knowledge by playing toys. And for example, the puzzle map or this one. If we teach children some knowledge of storage, and they would get the knowledge of storage and would reduce the food waste in 10 years later or 20 years later. I think it's a good way to change their behavior of food storage. Thank you.
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So it's an interesting subject. I wonder how you would solve this one. It was not clear to me. This is a kind of sensor you would have.
I want to use a physical device. For example, he would change colors with the time pass, and for example, when you use his white, and after you with the time pass, and he would turn green, and when he fall green, he maybe is expired. But maybe it's not maybe it's not exactly to monitor the time.
In terms of the thermochromatic stickers, do they exist?
No.
So things that change colour over time. Thermochromatic paint does exist. Well, thermal is heat, but I'm assuming there'd be a kind of temporal chromatic. But time-based. It's got to be about air, isn't it?
I still should research about the color change device, about a physical device. If I use digital device, it's really simple, but if I want to reduce the energy and I would like to.
That's a good idea.
I think the interaction, the simplicity of the interaction of you're using pegs anyway to seal things. Here's a colour changing sticker to keep it on. Makes sense. I don't know if crisps are your best example.
Yes, this also have the Coca-Cola or
I think you've got things that have a longer lifespan. For me, with crisps, you're either going to eat them within a time period or not. They're dead
Normally
anyway.
you eat it immediately. That's the problem of shit.
I eat half of that and then.
You cannot resist. The thing is missing there is actually Xander points the good examples. So for instance, what is actually difficult to track? Milk, for example. And you can really get sick if you drink that milk, or eggs, for example. So a few better examples would definitely be better for this, to sell your idea, basically. But I like the simplicity of it. I don't know. Then in relation to the other things I've seen, I was checking this app. Apparently, there's this is the new app.
So these are your example projects.
This is my example.
So this is your state of art. Did you try this one to see how it works?
I have searched the internet and I kicked in, but the website, I think it doesn't work, and no people use this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this one and this one is still have some people use, and this one online farmer market.
Yeah.
Is this the one that you can actually take food from restaurants and shops that are the leftovers? Is this the one? Because there's one app. I don't know if you heard about it.
I'm aware of it, and I can't think of its name at all.
I can't remember the name.
I've heard of it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something really popular nowadays, and it's actually being used. And and it works. So you should try to find that out and actually test it. You know, just not to, you know, conceptually wise. Okay, this is one thing. It's nice to understand the different concepts, but it's interesting as well. It's better if you can try them and see how it works, and so you can build on that as well.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it sounds like with the concepts which you didn't really go into, which I'm just drawing, looking at, this is quite a neat thing. It almost sounds like if you were to bring that sort of idea, the kind of this much food should last you this long idea, into an app, it'd be an interesting little bit of a data overlay for when you're doing online ordering anyway. Can you make it as a Chrome plugin that basically says, you're ordering enough food for 17 people, you're just hungry, maybe you don't need all of this, or this food is due to collectively expire within, or 60% of this food will go off within the next 2 days. Just that sort of, I think that the subtlety of your communication with what I'm assuming is having inserts into trolleys that says this is enough food for one person over 2 days, this is enough food for one person over 7 days. Is that, am I interpreting your diagram right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us more about how you arrived at that, or?
For this, this concept of this idea, I think maybe need just remove the digital about, for example, the app or the other things. Just is, I think maybe it's just a kind of basket for shopping, and if you need one, you can use it, and if you don't need one, you can push under the other side and just use normal one. And I think it's like it just give you the information and he would remind himself.
One of the things it reminds me of is we have projects around open food, some of which has interesting experiences, some of which doesn't so much. One of the prototypes they developed at one point was gloves that you put on, so that you were encouraging people to measure things by their hands, but the gloves also kind of articulated how many grams a handful was. So you had that kind of secondary reassurance of, no, you have got this, you do understand that a handful is the right size, your hands are not freak sized, like you can use this as a unit of measurement. And it was just such a nice, not quite passive, but an embedding of people's intuitive knowledge around size and measurement. And it feels like you could kind of train, and actually that's more of a cultural intervention than the ways you're talking about intervening in culture, because it's giving people passive reassurance or passive guidance that this much means this. For me, the charm is in this side of the table. The kind of, you get over there and the culture side of things, you've got 2 weeks. You can't meaningfully prototype and test and trial. You should be aware of culture as a layer, absolutely. You're right to observe that. And again, like we were saying yesterday, multi-layered awareness is a huge part of being a designer. Same with kind of in there, we're more just into kind of, it's an industrial design project, fine. But it's not going to stretch you. This sort of thing, if you can start playing with this, it can start to stretch you, you've got meaningful ways of prototyping. You want to come in with a final thing, or should we?
Yeah, well, I think it's good. I totally agree, and it's quite tangible, this one, and just picking the right food will definitely give you clues as well to the shape and and to how it could function, without turning into something absurd like this new appliance you have to put in the fridge. That will tell you if the eggs are bad or not, and will give you a notification each time an egg is bad. So I mean, we don't know to that. We don't need to go to that point. But yeah, this side is definitely good. Go for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.